Is this ready to go? I'll make up for the facial expressions, probably. So when I think of power and empowerment, I think of all good things. I think of time, freedom, success, changing the world, autonomy, all these wonderful things. But I had a different view come into my life a few weeks ago when I was speaking at a summit for people who had experienced workplace abuse. So I'm at the summit and I'm sharing about how we can overcome past trauma and past experiences and how we can take back our power, how we can speak up, make different choices, and be empowered. And a few comments, so not just one, but a few of the comments were like, we don't like that word, power. We don't want power and to be empowered. And I was like, okay, like what do I do with that? And so afterwards, a woman spoke up and she clarified, and it really hit me and it really made me think about things differently. She said, I don't want power because the people who hurt me had power. And I was like, oh, okay. And so in the Q&A afterwards, I clarified, like, this is what I'm talking about when we can speak up and take different actions, and that's what I mean. But I thought about it afterwards, and I'm like, do we want power? Is it good? Like, what does power mean? Is it bad? Do we want freedom and peace, and maybe we don't want power? You know, maybe we know so many systems in this world, you know, that have power and they hurt people or exploit people or hurt the environment. Do we really want power? And I was thinking and thinking about it, and I got this picture that really clarified what true power is that I wanted to share with you today. So we all know how baby elephants, you've heard the story about how a baby elephant is tamed for the circus. They tie a rope around the elephant's ankle when it's young, and then they tie the other end of the rope to a stake in the ground. And no matter how hard, you guys all have heard the story, no matter how hard that baby elephant tries and tries and tries, it can't break free. So it downloads a powerful belief. It downloads the belief, the stake is more powerful than me, the rope is more powerful than me, and therefore the circus owner is more powerful than me. And we all know the baby elephant grows up and it could just walk away anytime it wanted to, except it doesn't because of that past experience and that belief. So the people at the summit were saying, well, that circus owner has power and he's a jerk and we don't want to be like him. And I would say, I'm sorry, I'm saying that he's a man, but could be a woman. And I want to argue, and none of us do want to be like that, right? If that's what power is, we don't want it. But I want to argue that that's not true power. And the reason is because of what that circus owner knows. He knows that he is in fact powerless. That if that elephant were allowed to grow up without that rope on its ankle in all of its elephant glory, that circus owner wouldn't be able to make that elephant do anything that he didn't want to do, or be anywhere that he didn't want to be. So how does this affect us as leaders and business owners? Well, we need to look at that in our own life and think about power and how you think about it. And are there any areas where you're moving away from it because it's like that circus owner and it's not really power? It's maybe abuse or control. And then you need to, as we move forward, as we take actions in our business, as we go where we want to go in our business, if there's any areas where you are procrastinating or stuck or afraid or doubting or self-sabotaging, I want you to imagine your ankle. And I want you to ask a few questions. Are there any ropes from my past of beliefs that are holding me back that maybe used to be true, that aren't true anymore, aren't true about who I really am? And then I also want you to ask, are there any people, like the circus owner, that maybe I've given my power away to, that don't deserve it and don't actually have it? Any ideas? Anything like that? And then I want you to do what the elephant can't, which is grab a piece of paper and write across the top of that paper, who am I when I operate in my true power? What does my business look like when it operates the way it was supposed to operate? And listen to whatever comes up and write it down. And then I want you to think about any areas in the past that are holding you back, any ideas. Maybe women can't do this thing that men can do, or maybe people who grew up like me can't do those things. And anything that's holding you back, I want you to operate out of the power, the list that you created, and rip those stakes right out of the ground. Thank you.